Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors, the antagonist that will plague the Marvel Cinematic Universe until the following major crossover event, appropriately named Avengers. The Kang Dynasty is now in theaters thanks to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania. The movie also promises that while fighting Kang and exploring the quantum realm, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man and Evangeline Lilly's Wasp will bite off more than they can chew. Let's break down what really occurred in the movie and major spoilers ahead if you have not watched the movie yet. The film begins with Scott Lang, who authored a whole book about his life's journey, received a call from the San Francisco police informing him that Cassie Lang, his teenage daughter, had been arrested for acting in accordance with her moral convictions. Scott found that Cassie and Hank were working on a significant project as the Ant family was trying to enjoy a nice supper when the entire father-daughter conflict continued throughout dinner. With the exception of Janet Van Dyne, who spent 3 decades imprisoned in the quantum realm, Cassie demonstrated that she had discovered a way to connect with the quantum realm without even going there. When she discovered Cassie had just transmitted a signal to the quantum realm, she was in a fit of hysteria and had to turn off the gadget. The signal had been picked up by whoever was on the other side, who then utilized it to draw the entire Ant family into the quantum realm, thus it was already too late. This essentially applied to everything in Hank's lab, even the intelligent ants he had been testing. The Ant family split up when it was drawn into the quantum realm. Scott was with Cassie, while Hope was with her parents. But the fact was that they had descended further into the quantum realm than ever before, since this was a region where intelligent life existed. Due to a dark secret she wished to protect from the Ant family, Janet never told them anything about the true quantum realm. Hope used her understanding of the quantum realm to introduce them to Kryler, a former lover she had while in the quantum realm, so they could find out more about where Scott and Cassie were. As a result, they ended up meeting different people. In the meantime, Scott and Cassie encountered the rebels who were opposing the so-called Conqueror. With most of the quantum realm already under her control, the Conqueror is now attempting to capture a member of the Ant family for unknown reasons. The Conqueror's army arrived at their village when Scott, Cassie, and the freedom fighters under the command of Gentora were being attacked. At that point, Scott and Cassie met up once again with Darren Cross, who was, as we all know, the main adversary in the first film. As Scott messed with his yellow jacket outfit and made him shrink uncontrollably till he reached the quantum realm, Darren revealed that he managed to survive the events of the first movie. Yet because of how much smaller his limbs were in comparison to his larger head, this caused his body to become malformed. The Conqueror used his cutting-edge technology to give Darren a fancy new suit that allowed him to move at will despite his deformed appearance. Darren was saved by the Conqueror. In a humorous turn for the film, he now adopted the moniker mechanized organism designed only for killing, MODOK, and he only responded to that term. Scott and Cassie were returned to the Conqueror's tower by MODOK so they could meet him at last. Janet witnessed a man who had crashed into the quantum realm when she was still imprisoned there. In comparison to what humanity was capable of in the real world, this man was carrying futuristic technology. Janet discovered that this man was named Kang and that he was from a time in which it was possible for him to create a vessel that could travel through time and space in order to access many timelines in various worlds. His ship's power core, however, was lost. Janet made every effort to repair the power core, hoping that Kang could assist her in getting back to Hope and Hank. After reinstalling the power core, Kang and Janet connected Kang's nervous system. After Janet learned of Kang's deeds, she connected to the neurological network between the spacecraft and him as soon as she touched it. In spite of the fact that he represented her last chance of ever returning to her world, she was forced to attempt to stop him when she learned that he had destroyed entire worlds, timelines, and universes throughout the course of his lifespan. When Kang realized what Janet had seen, he explained that he had never actually been lost in time, but had instead been banished there by the individuals who had damaged his ship. As a result, he desired to travel back to his origins in order to exact retribution before carrying out his plan to conquer and destroy other worlds. Just after Kang retrieved his suit from his ship, Janet took the power core. Janet had to use her PIM discs to increase the power core because the futuristic suit was too powerful for her Wasp suit to handle, which prevented Kang's ship from using it. The Conqueror was finally encountered by Scott and Cassie back in Kang's tower, where he exploited his authority to torture Cassie in order to convince Scott to assist him in a heist. Scott was instructed to enter the middle of the larger power core so that he could use his PIM particles to reduce it to its original size. Scott made it to the center, but when a probability storm turned him into several different people, he ran into difficulties. After initially failing, Scott received some much-needed assistance from Hope, who came with her parents just in time. The power core could be shrunk back down to its original size, but Kang would just take it and Janet away without even returning Cassie. Kang revealed to Janet what he had been working on the entire time in his tower. He wanted to return with his entire army, not just his ship, in order to exact retribution on those who wronged him and drove him into the quantum realm. He had to incorporate the entire power core into his tower as a result. Even though she was still being held hostage, Cassie managed to escape and liberate Jintora, who informed her that they needed to disrupt Kang's signal in order to alert the other freedom fighters to the urgency of their situation. Scott sought to hold off Kang's ships and defenses by using his suit to grow himself to his maximum size. Fortunately for him, the Freedom Warriors arrived to help him, allowing him to concentrate on reaching Kang's tower. Kang, meanwhile, ordered MODOK to murder Cassie for interfering. Cassie expanded herself and used it to defeat MODOK. She told MODOK to quit being a dick instead of killing him, and Aaron appeared to understand. Kang's army was set to be sent out of the quantum realm, but Scott was able to stop it from happening. Kang joins the conflict because he was sick of the Ant family and the Freedom Fighters. He could easily defeat the Freedom Warriors and the Ant family with his futuristic outfit. However, Hank and his army of enormous ants arrived just in time. The Conqueror appeared to be beaten after they routed Kang and his men, especially after Darren gave his life by betraying his master. Janet informed them that she only had a single chance to use Kang's ship to create a gateway leading back to their Earth. Scott tried to exit the quantum realm through the portal, but Kang stopped him. Hank, Janet, Hope, and Cassie had already done so. He was less indestructible than before because of the damage to his suit, yet he was still a challenge for Ant-Man to defeat. Hope returned to assist as he was attempting to exit the quantum realm after beating Scott up. After Kang was slain when he attempted to stop the PIM discs from harming them, they utilized the discs to destroy the power core. Scott and Hope were able to go back to their world thanks to Cassie, who discovered a means to activate a fresh gateway. Scott and the Ant family were seen having fun at the film's conclusion. He can't help but think back to what Kang said when he forewarned them that something worse than him was on the horizon. Even so, he believed it might not be a major deal. In the scene before the credits, we saw various Kangs from various histories discussing how the exiled one had been killed. It was due to these Kangs that he was banished to the quantum realm. It was obvious that the Conqueror was this character's most terrifying incarnation. These Kang variations made the decision to call all Kang variations to a world that appeared to exist outside of space and time. And they did so because inhabitants of Universe 616 now possess the greatest possible level of multiverse knowledge. Now that the groundwork for the next Avengers Kang Dynasty film has been established. Although the Kang we saw in Quantumania was a very dangerous individual with technology that could overpower entire worlds, a whole army made up of Kang clones is far more hazardous. We may not know what these Kang variations are up to, but we are all aware that they disapprove of the fact that individuals in Universe 616 are now aware of the multiverse's existence and the opportunities that come with it,